So I came across this post that has 186,000 likes, 22,000 shares and saves. It says, for some men, losing an incredible woman feels like relief because now they can keep being their problematic selves without the pressure of having to be better. So right out of the gate, just look at how this is phrased, where, of course, the woman is an incredible woman and the man is problematic. So right away, I can tell that this is a kind of person that lacks any ability to self-reflect and take accountability for their actions and their shortcomings. This is someone who's so fixated on an image and an idea of who you could be that they completely overlook who you are. This is the kind of person who, instead of appreciating your sacrifices and hard work, will fixate and focus on the little things. And what a lot of men don't realize is, with women, a lot of this stuff will come from a place of insecurity, realizing that the man is the one that's putting in 95% effort while they're barely putting in 5%. And the sad part is, instead of saying, you know what, it's not fair that I'm only putting in 5% and expecting so much from this man, they say to themselves, it's only a matter of time before he realizes this is a raw deal. But if I can put enough pressure on him to make it seem as though he's not doing enough, if I can gaslight him into thinking that the amount of effort he's putting in isn't substantial enough for my attention and my presence, he won't even have time to realize that he's the one that deserves better, not me. And though I truly believe that these standards that we hear from women, that a guy needs to be 6'7", making $100,000 every month, 6-pack abs, 7 inches, the complete package. Even though I truly believe that a lot of modern women actually think that they deserve a man of this status, and not only deserve it but are entitled to it, it also feeds into this structure of manipulation that we see from so many modern women, where it sets this standard and projects this standard, and what that does is downgrades the contributions of any man that doesn't reach these ridiculous standards. What I really believe is happening is we've told women that the stuff that makes them feel proud, valued, gives them purpose, fulfillment, has been painted as oppression. And the irony is, the levels of unhappiness, anxiety, and depression that we're seeing in modern women is coming from a place of not realizing their unhappiness and insecurity is coming from a place of not participating enough. And the crazy thing about the situation is, with modern day women, to even attract them and get their attention, you have to reach a certain status, a certain bracket per se, where you check off the boxes that are just the bare minimum. And what the bare minimum has become is being in the top 1%. And because these women have become so superficial, so materialistic, there's no standard you can reach that will bring them true peace and happiness, because true peace and happiness comes from a place of appreciating what you have, not what you don't have. And this is why you see so many women nowadays that are unhappy, miserable, dealing with depression, anxiety, because they've completely lost grip of living in the moment and leaving well enough alone. They're always chasing the next high, the next fix. With the presence of social media and the ability to showcase their life, there's always a next step. And this is why so many men have decided to just walk away, because they've realized that no matter what I do, I'm always the villain. I can never do enough. If I work 12 hours a day, come home, empty the trash, do the dishes, cook dinner, I can quite literally do everything, and it's still not going to be enough. It's been imprinted in modern day women's minds that they're the prize and all they have to do is show up. Their presence alone is enough. And from this post in the comments, there's so many women saying, he told me that I was too good for him. He told me that I deserved better than him. And let's be honest, this is something that men will often tell women to let them down gently, because from past experience, they've learned that women can be very emotional and erratic, that the truth can't just be spoken, we have to tiptoe around their emotions. And though many men will understand this as being very rational and logical, it is also a huge contributor to a lot of the current issues. As I mentioned, a man has to reach a certain status and be at a certain level to gain the attention of a woman, more so than ever nowadays. So when a man reaches those standards and interacts with the woman on an emotional and intimate level, it's almost his obligation to be brutally honest about what his true intentions were and why he no longer sees potential in the connection. But because the men that can attract women are getting the lion's share, there is no obligation. There is no reason for them to be brutally honest. It's easier for them to say, I'll just let her live in her delusion. It's not worth my time and energy to try to change her. So instead of getting constructive criticism and useful feedback, a lot of men are just saying, you know what, you deserve better than me, because that's easy, and they know women will eat it up. They get to walk away scot-free, never think about it again, and move on with their life, while the women get to say, I'm such an incredible woman that no man can live up to my expectations. I'm not the problem, I'm the prize. I've had handsome and successful men tell me I deserve better. And again, modern women's standards are through the roof. So for a man to have access to a woman, there has to be something exceptional about him. And for an exceptional man to tell a woman that she deserves better than him, just further solidifies this idea that these women do deserve that top 1% man, even though the reality is that top 1% man didn't see the value in them. That top 1% man knew that he was far out of their league, but chose to avoid the drama and walk away clean. And with social media, a lot of these women do have access to these top 1% men. And again, this is something that men will tell women to let them down easy. So now imagine that you have these ridiculously high standards, and not only do you have access to those ridiculously high standards, but when you get a taste of that, you're then told that you deserve even better than the ridiculous standards you already have. And this is where we are now. We have a sea of women that just think they're far superior than any man can ever live up to. And this really just shows the lack of appreciation that most women have nowadays for the men that give them their attention, that are willing to work hard and share the resources that they do have. We live in a society now where if you're not making $100,000 a month, most women will view you as a bum, as a brokey, as a lazy man. You can break your back for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, just to make enough to get by and sustain life. And instead of that being appreciated, it's overlooked because it doesn't afford the luxuries that very few of us will ever attain. And those are my thoughts on that. But what do I know? I'm just a bear.